guys, in today's video, I want to have a conversation about something that I find is not talked about enough within the photography community, even though it's one of the things that has the biggest impact on our long-term happiness and growth and success and sustainability as creative entrepreneurs. Recently, over on my Instagram, I shared a quote that I really love. A flower does not think of competing to the flower next to it, it just blooms. Struggling with comparison is something I've experienced before, and I know many other photographers can relate to this as well. So naturally, this quote generated a lot of responses, but there was one DM that inspired this talk that I want to share today. And I'm going to keep the name of the person anonymous, but let's just call her Sarah. Sarah wrote, I try to have this mentality, but sometimes when working in a creative business, it's hard to think positively. I see all these beautiful flowers blooming, and the thing is, they don't ever peak. They just keep getting better and better. Then here I am giving my flower all types of TLC, and I just can't seem to blossom. It's tough to sit back and watch everyone else get what you want. I'm trying to have faith in God's plan. Wow, when I read this, it just hit me in the heart. I really admire how just open and vulnerable she was in sharing this, which I find to be a huge strength. And I just wanted to share some advice for her and also for anybody else that has felt a similar way. And there's a few points I want to hit here, but let's just break it down into two main parts and I'll share my thoughts on each piece. First, where Sarah said, they just keep getting better and better. If you ever felt this way, you might watch other photographers, that photo that they just posted that was really awesome, or the client or venue that they just shot at, or the people that they're working with or collaborating with, or maybe this just really cool styled shoot that they just did. And you think to yourself, how am I ever going to measure up to that? They just seem to get better and better and be doing all these cool things. And here I am over here growing at snail's pace. How can I ever catch up? And first, I just want to remind you that we are each on our own journey and everyone has their own struggles and challenges. And when we're looking at others, we're typically only seeing that highlight reel of their journey. We're not seeing the full picture, and we're not seeing where they came from or even what they're struggling with in this current moment. But on top of all that, we also have the tendency to give others a lot more credit than we give ourselves. Am I right? One of the things that we're naturally great at is seeing all of the positive and the great things in other people. And I don't feel like this is necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I feel like we should be celebrating others because others accomplishing great things can actually serve as proof that the very same thing is possible from us if we really want that from ourselves and continue to take steps towards those goals. But where it becomes a bad thing is where we give others all this credit while not being the kindest to ourselves. So what do I mean by that? Well, I am a very visual person, as I'm sure many of you are as well. So I like to think of it as kind of this mental scoreboard that we all have in our heads. And on the scoreboard, we have tally marks that are either for what we're capable of or what we're not capable of. One side is full of possibility. It's stacking evidence in favor that we have what it takes. We were meant for this path. We are 100% capable and worthy of our dreams. And then the other side of our scoreboard, we're stacking tally marks and evidence against ourselves. And when you picture this visual in your head, would you say that you put more tally marks in favor for you or against you? Oftentimes we're making a lot of tally marks against ourselves without really even knowing it, creating evidence that we're not good enough, we're not talented enough, we're not worth charging more. And if we're not careful, that can very quickly result in us talking ourselves out of our dreams. This alone can feel super heavy, and I find is a large part of why so many photographers give up on their dream and why the failure rate is nearly 90% of photographers will give up on their business within those first 3 years. And then you add to that we do the exact opposite for our competition. While giving yourself all these bad tallies and filling up the board on the negative side for yourself, we're giving other people all the love. We're like, oh my gosh, their photo is so amazing. Like that photo, that shoot, their portfolio, their home, their life, their dog, you name it. We're giving them all the love and all the positive tally marks and trophies, maybe throwing some gold stars on there. And we're so quick to say they were just made for this. They just got that it factor, yet we're reluctant to give ourselves that same credit. So why is this? Well, sometimes we do this under the false pretense that if we're hard on ourselves, it's gonna motivate us more and push us. Like, we need to crack that whip on ourselves and that will push us to do what we want to do. And maybe in the short term, that's true. It could give that tiny short-term boost that we want, but it's not going to be something that's sustainable long-term. And eventually it's going to lead to burnout and giving up on our dreams. So for more of that long-term sustainable growth and momentum, it's much more empowering to stack up positive evidence so that you have what it takes to continue to thrive. So how do you do this? I recommend starting by implementing a practice of celebrating weekly wins. I like to do this at the end of each week by writing down one win from the week and also one lesson. That win can be absolutely anything. Some weeks it might be a big win, other weeks it might be a small win. Both are extremely valuable. It could be a new technique you tried out. It could be a photo that you took. It could be a new contact that you made. Anything really that inched you forward towards your big goal and that makes you inspired to keep going. And then the second thing that I look for is a lesson from the week. And this could be something that you might have initially seen as a failure or a disappointment, but by taking that thing and looking for the lesson or looking for what we can learn from it, it then transforms what might have previously been perceived as a negative, and it just turns it into more evidence stacked in our favor. So we're stacking the positive evidence for ourselves. And this might sound super simple, but when implemented, I'm telling you, it is extremely powerful. And the more you do this on a weekly or even daily basis, the better you feel and the more easy and effortless it's going to become. So why just give love to everybody else? I'm giving you permission to give yourself some freaking credit. Pump yourself up a bit and stack those tally marks in your favor to build evidence that you are powerful and you are worthy of your biggest dreams. Another thing that Sarah said that really stood out to me was, I'm giving my flower all types of TLC and I just can't seem to blossom. Do you ever feel this way? Like you're doing all the things, you're focused on learning and growing, but you just are kind of feel a little bit stuck in place. Like you're not growing fast enough and not getting the results that you really want. This is why a lot of people give up, because they don't have the patience to keep going. So I want to share a story that I heard a while ago that has been something that's stuck with me ever since and really resonated with me. And it's about Chinese bamboo. The way that bamboo grows is it doesn't break the surface for quite a while. It digs roots into the ground first. It builds its foundation first and roots down. And those farmers, they're out there every day, watering, nurturing, and fertilizing to get them to grow. But they don't break surface for a long time. Not months, not a year, not 2 years. It takes 5 years for that first little sprout to come up from the surface of the earth. But what happens after that is kind of magical. Each day, that sprout can grow multiple feet. What took 5 years to come up from the surface will then within 5 weeks grow 90 feet, 4 stories tall. So it's kind of incredible that these farmers have all this faith and they continue to water and nurture this plant, even though they're not seeing any results. And that's how we have to be with our business, because if they were to stop nurturing and watering and just give up because they're like, hey, I'm not seeing any results, the bamboo would die. But they keep going and then it just rockets. So I find that business is very similar to this. I don't expect that it's going to take you 5 years to achieve your dream, but I do believe that you have to have that patience and that faith that it's coming. If you have a dream that's in your heart and you are moving forward towards it every single day, and you are focusing on your end vision, your end goal, putting the blinders on, not focusing on other people's paths, but focusing on your path. Your journey is so beautiful and so different than everybody else's. I encourage you to be like that bamboo. Bamboo is also, it's really incredible actually, because unlike other plants, it has this incredibly strong foundation. And bamboo is one of the most resilient plants on the planet. A strong wind can come and it will bend and it will not break. It is resilient because it has built this foundation for itself. Maybe you're not seeing the results of the work that you're putting into your business, but maybe it's because you're just building those roots. I find that a lot of times the work that we're doing in our business as photographers, we'll see that months, 6 months, even a year out, we'll see all the seeds that we've planted begin to flourish 6 months, a year later. And you're building that foundation for yourself and your business, and you're going to then be able to reap all of the benefits of that later. So allow your own journey to feel a little messy. That's okay. Allow your journey to feel slow. That's also okay. As long as you're on the right path and you continue moving forward along that path, step by step, you're going to get to where you want to be. And instead of focusing on the timeline and thinking, why am I not there already? What if you were to put 100% focus into following your path? If you were to just commit to this 100% and have 100% faith that it is coming, put those blinders on and keep your eyes on the path ahead, taking positive action each day, each week, each month, step by step. Where could you be 1 year from today? Stack those positive tally marks in your favor. And if you ever catch yourself feeling like you're watering your flower, but nothing's seeming to bloom while everybody else's gardens are flourishing, remember the points in this video. And then make it your mission to one day help someone else who feels the same way. Because I can guarantee you one thing, one day others are going to be looking at you so inspired by how you continue to bloom as you're refocusing your eyes ahead on that next leg of the bright and beautiful journey. So I hope that helps you in some small way and that you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out some of these other videos as well, and I will see you next time.